Hey y'all, turn my music off. So I figured I would just do a read through of the affidavit today. The affidavit actually, it's really called a bail application because I guess in different, I don't know, in different areas it's called different things, or maybe I think it has something to do with him requesting bail or something. I don't know. But anyway, it's basically an affidavit, but it's referred to as a bail application. But I put affidavit in the title so everyone knew what it was. So what's up, everybody? It's been a crazy couple days on YouTube. There was so much stuff going on that I was like, you know what? I feel like if I went live any other day, everybody would be all caught up in the other stuff. So, but I'm ready now. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Eve. Hey, Pointer Lover. Hey, Linda. Hey, Princess Megan Elsa. Hey, Music City Mom. Oh, yeah. I slept pretty late today, too. I don't know where it is where you are, but Princess Megan also, but I slept kind of late and it's Sunday, right? It's Sunday. I didn't have anything to do. Even though I was up, actually, the reason why I slept late, because I was up really, 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 I love you too. I was up super late last night, watching Morbid. The live's deleted now, but it was quite entertaining. There, people are arguing over all that heels in the air drama. I'm a little bit disappointed because I always liked heels, and I would still like her if she would just say like, hey, I mean, she is saying she's not like that, but just say I don't feel the same way about how I wrote the post. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that too much. But let me get into the affidavit. So here we go. Discovery. We'll start with discovery of the victims because before all that, it just listed the charges. It was Pointer Lover. It was a shocker. I don't know. My thing is I do feel like people can change and certain things can make you look at certain things differently. And, if she was willing to take more accountability, I would just be like, all right, like, that's it. But I don't know. But she's always nice to me. And I always enjoyed her work. So, I don't know. I'm just disappointed by the whole thing, honestly. It's just becoming so ugly, the whole situation. I just want to stay far, far away from it, So the first, it just lists all the charges. If you guys don't know the charges, he has one charge for murder in the first degree for Melissa Bartholomew, a murder in the first degree for Megan Waterman, murder in the first degree for Amber Costello, and then he has murder in the second degree for Melissa Bartholomew, murder in the second degree for Megan Waterman, and murder in the second degree for Amber Costello. Although there's 4 victims, so I don't know why they don't have the charge for the 4th one. Not sure, but hey, Carol. Yeah, I'm not Taxica. I'm not getting involved in any of it. If y'all haven't noticed, I try and stay far, far, far away from the drama. Occasionally, if I feel like I have to address something, I'll just do like a little bit 5-minute in the beginning of my live addressing it. Other than that, I stay far away from the drama. I want nothing to do with it. I just like my little true crime corner. All right, so the first lists the charges, and then it starts with discovery of the victims. On December 11th, 2010, police officer John Malia, I think it's pronounced, was conducting a training exercise with his canine partner, Blue. Do you guys want me to put it on the screen? You know what? Hold on. I'm reading it off my phone, and it's so small. Let me send it to myself on Messenger, and I will put it up on the screen so you guys can see it too. Why didn't I think of that before? Yeah, right. Kate's Crime Corner. Oh, yeah. I mod for Queen Bee, so, you know, obviously she's my friend. We go way back. I've been, you know, we've all came from the same community. We all followed the Michael Long saga together. So we've kind of all, you know, been around for a while because of that. Just an FYI, guys. So I got this stuff called rapashi. It's like this lizard, this powder food that you boil water and you pour the powder food in, and then you mix the powder and the boiling water, and then you let it cool, and it turns into a gel. And I make it for my one lizard who is handicapped. It's just easier for him to digest, and he gets all the things he needs. Well, I'm like so allergic, I think, to black soldier fly larvae, because I think that's what's in there. And every time I use it, I get all like stuffed up. And I did it like 3 days ago, but I am like still suffering from it. So if I just randomly mute, it's because I'm sneezing or something like that. All right, let me share it on my screen so y'all can see it. Yeah, she always has been nice to me. I've liked, you know, I've always liked heels. We'll just leave it at that. All right. Can I zoom in somehow? You want a Savannah monitor? Oh, Savannah monitors are awesome. Well, let me tell you a little story. I had a Sav. Well, I fell in love with the Savannah monitor named Dylan on I didn't even start yet, Jen, so you're not late. Named Dylan on Insta. He was adorable. So I got a Savannah monitor, a baby. And baby lizards are very, very on the defense. That's just how they have to be, you know, when they come out of their eggs, they're on their own, and they got to be very wary of predators. And I gave my baby Sav like way too much space and way too much cover, and he hated me, and he hid in his cave the entire time and would never come out. And then I had a friend who lost one, so I gave the salve to him because I just felt like he would do a better job than I was, because he just, like, I couldn't get him to even come out to trust me. But I do have an Asian water monitor now, and he's the sweetest thing ever. But I have seen a lot of Savannah monitors that are super, super sweet. I think I just got unlucky. All right, so on December 11th, 2010, police officer John Malia was conducting a training exercise with his canine partner, Blue, along Ocean Parkway in Gilbert Beach, New York. During the course of the training exercise, Blue located a set of human remains. The remains were later to be identified to be those of Melissa Barthélemy. 2 days later, on December 13th, 2010, the SCPD continued to search in proximity to where the remains of Melissa Barthélemy were recovered. On that date, members of the SCPD found 3 additional sets of human remains, one within a quarter mile of the first discovery. See image below. These 3 additional sets of human remains, identified as those of Maureen Brainard Barnes, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello. The cause of death of all 4 women was determined to be homicidal violence. Now, just so you guys can see, this is just the 4 bodies they found, but like, see this like stretch of land a little bit further, like right. Okay, you guys can't see my mouse on that. All right, see where the red square box is? All right, see that little corner piece that goes over and there's like a point at the end right next to it? Down there, they found like 5 more bodies, but they haven't been able to connect them yet, and they think it might be from a different killer. So that's crazy to me, but I do think they're all interconnected somehow. But what's her name? The girl Shannan was found in that spot right next to it. And they haven't been able to connect her. And her 911 call was really strange, which we listened to on my last live. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it. It's very strange. Basically, she had a driver who took her to a client's house named, I think his name was John Powers or Browers, something like that. John Browers. And she started flipping out. The guy walked outside and knocked on the driver's window and said, "Hey, get your girl." Then he comes in to go get her. She starts freaking out, doesn't trust them. She starts running and leaves. She starts banging on all the neighbors' doors, saying she's going to be killed. And then she eventually is strangled and killed and found right in the area behind that guy's house. So, makes me wonder, was that guy John, did he have people over? Was there a connection to him and Rex? Did the guy chase her down? Did her driver have something to do with it? How did she go to all these people's houses and still run away and end up there? I don't know. Or maybe the guy was taunting her and she was afraid he was going to come there. I don't know. But it's very strange. The whole thing, that whole situation is so strange. And I'm going to definitely have to do just a whole live dedicated to that, because even though she's not like connected, hey Nina, connected, like charged connected, I still think there's a connection there, but I just don't know what it is yet. I'm sure they're trying to figure out the connection too as well, but it's very strange. All right, so the investigations into these deaths were linked, as in addition to other factors, the victim each appeared to have been placed in close proximity to another, 22 to 33 feet from the edge of the parkway. All were petite females, approximately 22 to 27 years old, believed to be working as sex workers. All had missing clothing and personal possessions, and all had been linked to homicide. Now, mind you, Shannan, she was also a sex worker who was doing like private calls and Craigslist, I think. She was around the same age. There is similarities there. All right, so they all been killed by homicide. They all had contact shortly before their disappearances with a person using a burner cell phone. Example, cell phones without an associated verified identity. And the cell phones of 2 of the 4 victims, Bernard Barnes and Bartholomew, were used by the killer after their deaths. In addition, each of the 4 victims were found similarly positioned, bound in a similar fashion by either belts or tape, with 3 of the victims found wrapped in a burlap-type material. In January 2022, the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office assigned an experienced team of investigators. Yeah, Jen, it's strange because she was at this guy John Brower's house, right? And then she freaks. She starts freaking out, going, "Get away from me," blah, blah, like saying she don't trust him. He's like, "What the hell is going on?" She's freaking out at me, called me all these names. So he goes and gets her driver. And then he's like, "Hey, man, she's flipping the hell out. What is going on? Come get her. She's acting a fool in my house." So the driver goes in, to get her, to take her home, because he's her bodyguard too, And he goes to get her, and she starts freaking, yelling at him, "Get away from me," yelling at the other guy, "Get away from me." She starts running. This is according to the driver. This is what the driver said, that when he got in there, she was acting crazy. She didn't want to go with him. She didn't want to go with the other guy. She's telling him, "Get away from me." She started running. But for all we know, the driver could be lying. Then she starts running. She calls 911 as she's running. And I think hangs up on them. And then she starts she knocked on the door of this doctor. And then he tried to help her and get her to come inside. She wouldn't come inside. And then she runs and knocks on the door of somebody else, a woman who calls 911. And then they tried to get her in. She wouldn't come in. And then here she ends up not far from there, strangled in a 500 milligram pot brownie will make the same. Weed, anything. I can't do marijuana or weed. It makes me panic, like straight panic attack. I just want to go put a blanket over my head, so you won't catch me ever doing that. For some reason, it doesn't relax me one bit. But yeah, she was flipping out. People tried to help her, but here she was right about something, because she was found strangled. Yeah. I'm not sure, it's very weird, but it's like, if Rex is involved, how? Maybe he texted her and said, from like a burner phone, was like, "Hey, that guy will kill you. He's he's crazy. Hurry, I'll come pick you up. Hurry up." Maybe he messaged her and acted like he knew or told her that they were plotting to kill her or something, And then she panicked, and then he was like, "I'll come pick you up. I'll meet you here," and pulled up in his car and killed her. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how he could be connected in a way in that situation. And the only thing I could think of is maybe he somehow scared her and made her think that, they were going to hurt her and offered to pick her up or something. All right. So in January 2022, the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office assigned an experienced team of investigators, analysts, and prosecutors to work jointly with law enforcement partners from the Suffolk County Police Department, New York State Police, Suffolk County Sheriff's Office, and the FBI. A comprehensive review of every item of evidence and information in this investigation was undertaken by the team. Thanks, Elizabeth. That's all right. She was bipolar. Yeah. Well, get this. Shannon's sister was, I believe, like a bipolar schizophrenic. I believe they had similar issues, Shannan and her sister. And Shannon's sister, 6 months, I think it was 6 months, either 6 years or 6 months after Shannon went, I think it was 6 years. After Shannon went missing, her sister stabbed her mom like 220 something times, and killed the mother. And she went to jail. Now, the other sister, the third sister, testified against her sister. I forget all their names. And said that she actually believes that she hated her mom and did it on purpose. Yeah, look up Shannan. Look up, hold on. Shannan Gilbert mom. Mary Gilbert. M-A-R-I Gilbert. I'll tell you right now. Killed by daughter. So Shannan Gilbert was found dead. Shannan was bipolar, had similar issues as her sister. And then her sister Sarah had schizophrenia. Mary, the one, if you watch all the movies with Mary Gilbert, she was very instrumental in getting the word out about her daughter. If you watch any of the Long Island serial killer documentaries where she's interviewed, it's her. Now, the sister, there's three sisters. The one with like the black curly hair, she's a little bigger than the rest of them. She's the one who killed her mom. It says the sister of Shannan Gilbert, who was found dead near a suspected serial killer's mass grave, stabbed their mother to death due to her schizophrenia, according to the family attorney. Mental illness drove Sarah Gilbert to kill her mother, Mary Gilbert, 5 years after Sarah's sister was found dead near a suspected killer's mass grave in Long Island. It was schizophrenia, attorney John Ray says. Sarah was hospitalized several times over the past couple of days. She began to hear voices. She called her mother and said, "Come over," and she stabbed her to death. I know, lover of the law. Isn't it crazy? Like, what are the odds that all this terrible stuff happens, you know? Her body was discovered in her daughter's home in Ellenville on Saturday. They arrested Sarah later that day and charged her with criminal possession of a weapon and second-degree murder. Tragedies and illnesses are often intertwined, says Dottie Lasser, a private investigator and a missing persons specialist who helped the Gilbert family search for Mary Gilbert's oldest daughter, Shannan. Attorney said that Sarah had been hospitalized to at least 2 facilities in upstate New York. In February, she drowned her pit bull in the bathtub and was arrested. In front of her own kid, she drowned internet is being wonky, so I'm on my phone. but I'll continue. I don't know. I think my internet went out, so I just popped in on my phone. Hopefully y'all can hear me now. Yeah, I'm trying to get my, I don't know what happened. I'm trying to figure it out now. But we'll stay on here for now. I'll just do it from my phone until my internet comes back up. Sometimes it does this, I don't know. Yeah, Lover of the Law. It's really sad, like how, like what happened. I just, that's like, can you imagine being the other two sisters who now lost their mom and their sister forever? And if you watch the documentary Lost Girls, they do touch on the sister's mental illness, but I don't think they ever touch on the murder, like how she murdered her mom. I don't know if they ever talk about that, but they do talk about that whole situation. Yeah, it's on Netflix. I just watched it the other night because it was excellent. All right, so let me continue. I can't show you guys the screen because I'm on my phone, but once everything comes back up, I will put it up for you. Sorry, I'm trying to. Okay, let's go. Okay, so they started a team to work on the case in January of 2022. That's where we left off. And the FBI also assisted them. They did a comprehensive review of every item of evidence and information in this investigation was undertaken by the team. On March 14th, 2022, approximately 2 months into the renewed joint investigation, this comprehensive review led to a discovery of first-generation Chevrolet Avalanche that was registered to the defendant, Rex Heuermann, at the time of these murders. So you'll hear later on in the affidavit that that in a nutshell, a Chevy Avalanche was seen at several of the, like, where they, like, when they were last seen. You know what I mean? So the Chevy Avalanche, I guess they narrowed down everyone who owned Chevy Avalanches. And then they had the burner phones. They were able to track where the burner phones were traveling between Massa. I'm going to probably say this wrong because everybody was correcting me last time and I didn't get it right. Massapequa and Manhattan. Now, he worked in Manhattan and lived in Massapequa, and he drove a Chevy Avalanche. So they really narrowed it down to a handcuff or a handful of people. As described below, this was significant because a witness to the disappearance of Amber Costello identified a first-generation Chevy Avalanche as the vehicle believed to have been driven by the killer. This discovery led to a comprehensive investigation of defendant Heuermann, which consisted of over 300 subpoenas, search warrants, and other legal processes to obtain evidence. Among the items were uncovered billing records, corresponding cell site location, the burner cell phones used to arrange meetings with the 4 victims, taunting calls made to a relative of Mrs. Bartholomew, a call made by a detective to Miss Bartholomew's cell phone while looking into her disappearance, and 4 calls checking voicemails on Miss Bernard Barnes' cell phone after her disappearance. In addition, Heuermann lived in Massapequa Park,
where victims were believed to have disappeared from, and he worked in Midtown Manhattan in the vicinity where the taunting... Oh, no. Hold on. Yeah, I know. There's probably so much. All right, this might be a problem because the rest of it isn't loading for me because of my internet. Hold on. I'm trying to get it back up. Why is this not working? I can pull it up on my phone, but my only fear is if I pull it up on my phone... All right, let me try something. If I lose y'all, I'll be right back. Okay, can y'all hear me? I won't tell nobody, Lex. I got you. All right, so what I'm going to do is I took a screenshot, and I think I can look at the screenshot and talk at the same time. So we'll see. Broadcast info. No, hold on. Layout. Banner. Overlay. I'm going to see if I can... here we go. Nope, that won't work. Of course. All right, I'm going to try and read a screenshot. Let me know if y'all can still hear me when I do it. All right, I'm going to read it. I'm breaking up a bit. I might be breaking up because I'm going back. Hey, Ellie, I'm trying to read something from my phone, and I have an idea. I got an idea. Oh, no, I don't know if I can do that either because my iPad isn't on the network. No. All right. All right, can y'all hear me? I'm going to read like a little snippet and tell me if you hear. That. A little snippet I read about Melissa Bartholomew. I don't really... Oh, wait. I think it's back. Yay! My internet's back. Okay. All right, I'm coming back. I'm back now. Oh, hold on. Okay, I think I fixed it. My internet came back on just in time. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, what happened was I was trying to read from my phone. Sorry. It's confusing having to go back and forth. I can't figure it out. All right. We should be able to do this now. Hopefully it doesn't go out again. If it goes out again, we're screwed. I'm just letting y'all know. Okay. Melissa Bartholomew was last seen on July 10th in New York City. At the time, she was believed to be working as a sex worker. On July 3rd, 2009, Miss Bartholomew was contacted by a burner cell phone. Thereafter, the Bartholomew cell phone was contacted by this burner cell phone on July 6th, July 9th, and July 10th, which is the last day she was seen alive. On July 10th, 2009, cell site records indicate the burner cell phone traveled from Massapequa Park to Midtown Manhattan. Later that evening, the Bartholomew cell phone traveled from Midtown Manhattan to Massapequa, with the last cell site being in Massapequa on July 11th, 2009. I'm sorry for your bleeding ears. I apologize. I muted my mic thinking that would be enough, but apparently when you have your phone and your regular mic on, even if your phone mic is muted, it still makes that terrible noise. So I apologize. Okay, where was I? Her last cell site location is being in Massapequa on July 11th, 2009 at approximately 1:43 a.m. It makes me wonder if he killed them right away or if he like held them for a day and like tortured them and then killed them. Because she was with him on the 10th and that was the last time that she was seen alive. And then on the 11th is the cell site going back to Massapequa, but I would feel like it wouldn't, like, she probably wouldn't be with him then, but I'm not totally sure. Also, his wife was on vacation with their kids every one of these times. On July 11th, Miss Bartholomew's cell phone was used to make an outbound call, checking her voicemail from a cell site location in Freeport. I'm going to have to look up these areas, but let me just write down Freeport because I want to see how far that is. We'll do a map thing at the end. I'll write down all the important areas. So Freeport on July 11th and July 12th, the Bartholomew phone made 2 more outbound calls, checking her voicemail from cell site locations in Babylon. Yeah, I think he was using their phones too to get an idea of it when they were calling the cops and their state of mind, I guess, of like, you know, we're going to the cops now, or you know, when you like someone goes missing and you call their phone and you're like, if you don't pick up, I'm calling the cops. I'm sure he was checking to see like where they were at in their mental frustration, or if they even knew that she was missing yet, or whatever. All right, so then we're in Babylon. Okay. On July 17th, July 23rd, August 5th, August 19th, and August 26th, the Bartholomew phone made taunting phone calls to Miss Bartholomew's family members, some of which resulted in a conversation between the caller, who was male, and a relative of Miss Bartholomew, in which the male caller admitted. So a conversation between the caller, who was male, and a relative of Miss Melissa Bartholomew, in which the male caller admitted to killing and essaying Miss Bartholomew. Hey, Jaded. Yeah, isn't that sick? That's crazy to me. As described below, the cell site locations of the Bartholomew phone during these taunting calls were in Midtown Manhattan, which we know he worked in Midtown Manhattan. All right, so now we're at Megan Waterman. Why did they not do these Or did they do them? Oh, yeah, they did them in order by year. Okay. So now we're at Megan Waterman. Megan Waterman was last seen alive at the Holiday Inn in Hauppauge, New York on June 6, 2010 at 1:30 a.m. At that time, she was believed to be working as a sex worker. On June 5th, 2010, Miss Waterman's cell phone was contacted by another burner phone, which had just been activated that day. So he activated these phones on the day he did the killing. I'm guessing he found ads in like Craigslist or something or other. And then thereafter, the Waterman phone communicated with his burner cell phone on June 6, 2010 at approximately 1:31 a.m. So he waited a whole year before he did another killing. Because the other one was in July, and this is June of 2010. Thereafter, communicated with his burner cell phone on June 6 at approximately 1:31 a.m., which around the time Megan was captured on video surveillance exiting the Holiday Inn in Hauppauge for the last time. So they got her on surveillance at the Holiday Inn in Hauppauge. Following that communication, the burner cell phone had no further phone activity. However, cell site records showed that the Waterman phone traveled to Massapequa Park, within the last cell site location being in Massapequa Park at approximately 3:11 a.m. in the vicinity of the residence of Hewerman. Well, yeah, they said he did them when she was away and on vacation. But it makes me wonder, like, did he bring them back to his home? Because maybe that's why they're so very, like, taking forever to look through this guy's home. Because would you really have enough time between 1:31 a.m. and 3:11? I mean, I guess if you were just throwing them on the beach and not even trying to bury them or hide them. So I don't know. I mean, I guess you could. But that's like a really short time span. You know what I mean? What, like an hour and a half? An hour and 40 minutes to kill somebody and dump a body? It just... I can't even imagine what his wife is thinking right now. Like, or his kids. You know, it's crazy to me because, like, it seems like he's like similar to like BTK. You know, he's just a family man and nobody thought about this. But it's just wild to me. It is. It's wild. Also, at the end of this, I seen a video title that I wanted to look at. So if I don't have time to watch it, I'll tell you all about it after this. But I just want to get through this. So I don't know if we're going to be able to read all 32 pages, but we'll get all the good stuff. Yeah, the beach where the bodies were found were very close to his home. Like, it was all... They were close. It was no more than like a 26-minute ride. I think it was about 26 minutes when I looked it up, like from his house to where the bodies were. It's a short amount of time. All right, so Amber Costello was last seen alive on September 2nd of 2010. So now this is only a few months later, June to September, leaving her residence at 1112 American Avenue in West Babylon during the late evening hours. At that time, she was believed to be working as a sex worker. On September 1st, 2010, the day prior to the disappearance of Amber Costello, Miss Costello's cell phone was contacted by a burner cell phone. On September 1st, 2010, this burner cell phone had communications with Costello's phone at approximately 11:33 p.m. and 11:34 p.m. During those communications, burner cell phone connected to cell site towers in West Amityville and Massapequa Park. Thereafter, the burner phone traveled to West Babylon in proximity to the residence of Amber Costello, and had contact with Costello's phone at approximately 12:05 a.m. According to witnesses, around the time of the communications between the burner cell phone and Costello phone on September 1st to 2nd, 2010, a prostitution client showed up at Miss Costello's residence in West Babylon, New York. After the client entered the home, a ruse was executed on the client whereby a person pretended to be the outraged boyfriend of Amber Costello, and the client left from the residence while Amber retained the money the client brought to pay for her services. So basically, they set him up where he paid the money, and she didn't have to do anything with him. She had this guy come out and pretend he was her boyfriend, and was in a fit of rage, and she got the money, but he left. So based upon interviews, that client, this is how they got a good description of him, because several people saw him, you know what I mean, that night. So based on interviews, the client was described as a large white male, approximately 6'4" to 6'6" in height, in his mid-40s, with dark bushy hair and big oval-style 1970s type eyeglasses. A witness described him to police as appearing like an ogre. Furthermore, a witness noticed a first-generation Chevy Avalanche parked in the driveway of a residence. According to the witness, following the ruse, this client said he was just her friend, tell her I'll give her a call, and walked out the door. Thereafter, at approximately 1:18 a.m. on September 2nd, after the ruse had been perpetrated, the burner cell phone sent a text message to the Costello phone which stated, "That was not nice to do. That was not nice, so do I get credit for next time?" Phone records show that burner phone was located in Massapequa Park within 2 minutes of his text message being sent. According to a witness later that day, on September 2nd, 2010, Costello was again contacted by the same client that was in the house the night before with the avalanche. Further, Amber told us that he wanted to see her again, but he didn't want to come back to the house because of her boyfriend. Dad on the cover. I can't imagine. I freaked out when I learned a great uncle was a bookie. Perhaps it was the way I found out high school, someone running in with a newspaper asking if it was my dad on the cover of a newspaper. Oh my goodness. It is sad that people are saying the family knew. I just don't believe that. I don't. Yeah, he's a big guy, man. Did you guys see the photos of him being like arrested? He towers over the police. I mean, I would be terrified of this guy. Can you imagine like a guy that big and being a fairly petite woman, and this guy trying to kill you, you know? Thereafter, on September 2nd, 2010, at approximately 9:32 p.m., the same burner cell phone from the previous evening again communicated with the Costello phone. During this communication, the burner cell phone used a cell site location in Midtown Manhattan. Following this communication and based upon the cell site records, the burner cell phone traveled to Massapequa Park and had contacts with the Costello phone at approximately 10:39 p.m. and 11:05 p.m. Cell site records for the burner phone indicate that at approximately 11:17 p.m., the phone traveled to West Babylon in proximity to the residence of Amber Costello. Subsequently, Amber Costello left her own cell phone behind, walked out the front door of the residence, and was seen alive for the last time. Shortly after Ms. Costello left the house, a witness observed a dark-colored truck pass the house, specifically coming from the direction Amber had walked towards. Records established that defendant Huerman's wife was out of New York for the disappearances of Bartholomew, Waterman, and Costello. On July 8th, 2009, Huerman's wife departed for Iceland. And on August 18th, 2009, his wife returned to the United States. So she was gone for over a month in Iceland. Consequently, defendant Huerman's wife was out of the country during the time of Miss Bartholomew's disappearance. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jen. Yeah. Let me tell you something, lover of the law. You know how many times my hair gets on my hubby in places you wouldn't believe? Like, he'd be pulling hair off of himself all over the place. Girl's hair gets everywhere. You know what I mean? Just because her hair was there does not mean she was involved. Women's hair is just a thing that gets on everything. Yeah, same, Jen. My hair is literally everywhere. So it does not surprise me at all that he had his wife's hair on him or on this burlap sack that came from his house. And if he brought them to his home, that would be another reason why. So yeah, isn't burlap like potato sacks? Like what you like potato sack rices? Like where does one get a bunch of burlap sacks from anyway? Right? I have to vacuum every day too. Yep, I know. Can you imagine finding out that your hair was on like his victims? You know what I mean? Ugh. Based upon cellular telephone billing records on June 4th, 2010, a cellular phone subscribed to Huerman's wife traveled from New York to Maryland. On June 8th, 2010, the cellular telephone subscribed to defendant Huerman's wife returned to New York from Maryland. Consequently, based upon cellular telephone records, the cellular telephone subscribed to defendant Huerman's wife was out in New York State during the time of Megan Waterman's disappearance. Based upon cellular telephone billing records, on August 28th, 2010, the cellular telephone subscribed to Huerman's wife traveled from New York to New Jersey. On September 5th, 2010, the cellular telephone subscribed to his wife returned to New York from New Jersey. Consequently, the cellular telephone subscribed to defendant Huerman's wife was out of New York State during the time of Amber Costello's disappearance. So she wasn't even there. She was. Yeah, right? That's why I have lizards, lover of the law. Lots of lizards. They don't shed. Oh, livestock feed. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Maybe they did have livestock feed. I never even thought of that. Maybe they had like chickens or something, or I don't know. But they might have had something where the older you get, the more, oh no. I think that happens to me too. It's like I'm shedding right now so bad. Like you should see, I get in the shower and I'll put conditioner in my hair and I'll be like running it through my hair and just pull like a giant clump. I'm like, ah! My hair is falling out. But really, hair gets on everything, especially women's hair, so it does not shock me at all. Oh, I seen the new puppy Buster was singing to. How's that coming along? He said he used it for hunting. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Maybe to like put like ducks in or something if he was a duck hunter. During the times of disappearances, he had that property in South Carolina. By the way, this dude's brother is a psychopath. Rex's brother handed out these business cards. I shared it on my Twitter if anyone wants to go look. But they were business cards that said, Craig Huerman, bad mother effer. And his phone number. And that was it. Like, just a black business card that said, Craig Huerman, bad mother effer, and his phone number. And he handed it to all his neighbors. Well, I am 34 and I just be running my hand through my hair and I swear I'd be pulling out clumps. I heard the burlap could have been from construction and it comes in rolls. Oh, well, he was an architect, so maybe. I know duck hunting is big in South Carolina too, right? Probably. All right. So during the times of disappearances of the murders of the victims, defendant Huerman owned an architectural business located in Midtown Manhattan, and this business was named the subscriber of Huerman's cell phone, which was active during the times of the victims' disappearances and subscribed to Huerman's home address in Massapequa Park. Although cell site records from that time period no longer existed, investigators obtained cellular billing records which showed general location information for his cell phone. A review of these records, as well as Huerman's American Express records, showed numerous instances where Huerman was located in the same general locations as the burner cell phones used to contact victims Bartholomew, Waterman, and Costello, as well as the use of Bernard Barnes and Bartholomew cell phones when they were used to check voicemail and make taunting phone calls after the women disappeared. Significantly, investigators could find no instance where Huerman was in a separate location from these other cell phones when such a communication event occurred. For example, on July 10, 2009, the last day Melissa Bartholomew was seen alive, both burner phone and defendant Huerman's phone were in the area of Massapequa and traveled together towards New York City. Thereafter, both Miss Bartholomew's phone and Huerman's phone traveled eastbound toward Massapequa. On July 14, 2009, at 7:15 p.m., cell site records indicate the burner phone used to contact Miss Bartholomew prior to her disappearance had activity in Manhattan. On the same date, between 6:58 and 7:22 p.m., billing records from Huerman's cell phone also show call locations in New York City. Following Miss Bartholomew's disappearance on July 7, 2009, at approximately 12:40 p.m., a mail caller used the Bartholomew phone to contact Bartholomew's family. The Bartholomew phone was located in New York City at the time, specifically attached to a cellular tower located at 4 Penn Plaza, which is approximately 2,372 feet or 0.45 miles from Huerman's then office space, which at the time was located at 19th West. Let me type this, write this down. 19 West 36th Street, New York, New York. Dun, 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 dun. Got your earbud camouflage under your headband. Genius. Oh, my eyes itchy. Ooh. On the same date, at approximately 1:45 p.m., billing records from Huerman's phone also show a call location in New York City. Can you see that? Why can't? Okay. So here's where the call was made to the Bartholomew family here, and then here's his office there. So it's pretty darn close. On July 22nd at 6:51 p.m., cell site records indicate the burner cell phone. How do I get rid of this? Indicate the burner cell phone had activity in New York City, specifically attached to a cellular tower located at 19 West 34th Street, which is approximately 872 feet or 0.16 miles from defendant Huerman's office space, which at the time was located at 19 West 36th Street, New York, New York. On the same date, at approximately 5:12 p.m., billing records from Huerman's cell phone listed a call located in New York City. So there's his address. Oh, look how close it was to the Empire State Building. Wow. And I guess right there was where the call was made, and here, which is very close. On July 23rd at 1:39 p.m., July 23rd, 2009, the cell site records indicate the burner phone had activity in New York City, specifically attached to a cellular tower located at 19 West 34th Street, which is 872 feet or 0.16 miles from Huerman's office space. On that same date at 12:48 p.m., billing records come from Huerman's cell phone listed a call located in New York, New York. So on July 23rd, 2009, at 6:42 p.m., a mail caller used the Bartholomew phone to contact her family. Bartholomew phone was located in New York City at this time. specifically attached to a cellular tower located at 275 West 39th Street, which is approximately 872 feet or 0.16 miles from Huerman's Zen office space. So that close again. All these calls were being made not at his office, but very close. On July 23rd, 2009, between 8:29 and 9:30 p.m., the burner cell phone had activity in New York City. Later on the same date, at approximately 11:05 p.m., billing records from Huerman's cell phone listed a call located in Jamaica, Queens. On August 5th, between 6:50 and 7:11 p.m., a male caller used the Bartholomew phone to contact Ms. Bartholomew's family. During said time period, the Bartholomew phone utilized the following cell phone towers in New York City, which are 2,230 feet to 3,280 feet from Huerman's Zen office space. On the same date, during a similar time frame, between approximately 6:46 p.m. and 7:05 p.m., Huerman's cell phone listed billing locations in New York City. So here's his office. Here's where all the calls were made. Yeah, they did do. I know, right? I think he had like 3 or 4. He had a lot of burner phones. They did do good work on this case. On August 10th, 2009, based upon subpoenaed travel documents, Huerman departed for Iceland and all phone activity for the Bartholomew phone stopped. So he went to go meet his wife in Iceland. She went to Iceland early. He stayed for another week, and then he went to go meet her in Iceland. And when he went to go meet her in Iceland, all activity stopped on Bartholomew's phone. On August 18th, 2009, Huerman returned from Iceland, and phone activity for the Bartholomew phone resumed the next day. What a surprise. On August 19th, 2009, at approximately 7:23 p.m., a male caller used the Bartholomew phone to contact Bartholomew's family. Cell site records indicate that the Bartholomew phone was located in New York City at the time, specifically attached to a cellular tower at 249 West 36th Street, which is approximately almost 3,000 feet or 53.53 miles from Huerman's Zen office space. On the same date, before and after the call to Bartholomew's family at approximately 7:16 and 7:28, billing records from Huerman's cell phone list calls located in New York City. Damn, he made a lot of calls to her family. Good question, Linda. I have no idea. I don't even know how I would figure that out. Like, I mean, I guess we could look it up, but I don't know how many would be like, how many we could find that would be on the internet around that time frame. That's a good call. I didn't even think about that. Would he be that bold to do it with his wife around? Who knows? But I mean, if he could just go back home and they wouldn't even know who it was, maybe. Yeah. I was thinking that too. Especially because her name is it sounded like maybe she was foreign just from it. It's like Asa, A-S-A, Ellerup, E-L-L-U-R-U-P or something like that. So, I don't know. So he called her family again on August 26th. And the tower picked up at 4 Penn Plaza, which is 2,230 feet. So obviously they were able to put together this profile of a man who lived in Massapequa and worked in New York City, because he was in New York City all the time making these calls, which would make sense. He's not home. He's away from his wife where he can make these calls. You know what I'm saying? Like, they put this profile together very well. Additional burner phones and online. Oh, I love the Springfield Man 9. Let me write that down. I'll run that on Blackbird. I have this account thing where you can look up screen names, and it'll tell you all the websites where that screen name is listed. Now, granted, other people can take that screen name and it might not be the same person, but sometimes you find accounts associated when you run it. It goes to like 500 websites and it tells you every website where somebody uses that screen name. As described herein, over the course of comprehensive investigation of defendant Huerman, investigators located a number of online accounts and burner phones linked to defendant Huerman, but which were held by him in fictitious names and used for illicit activities. American Express records obtained via subpoena revealed recurring Google Play payments made by Huerman to Tinder, an online dating and geosocial network application used to find dates or hookups within the user's immediate vicinity. Records were then obtained from Tinder, which revealed that Tinder profile was set up in the name Andy. Huerman's middle name is Andrew, with links to a burner cell phone 347 885 1697, subscribed in the fictitious name of Andrew Roberts, using an email account SpringfieldMan9 at AOL.com. The SpringfieldMan9 at AOL.com account was established with AOL on January 15, 2011, in the fictitious name John Springfield, with Astoria, Queens, New York zip code, using another burner cell phone, 347-304-2671, which records show has no named subscriber. Records obtained from Verizon showed defendant Huerman's cell phone was used on December 11th, 2022 for a period of over 3 hours to access the fictitious Springfield Man 9 AOL account. Similarly, records obtained from the T-Mobile show that the burner cell phone 347-304-2671 was used on multiple dates, including November 8th, 2022, to access this account. A review of all the call records for these two additional burner cell phones revealed that both cell phones were used extensively between 2021 and 2023 for prostitution-related contacts, either with sex workers or massage parlors. In addition, cell site warrants for these burner cell phones revealed that just like the burner cell phones defendant Huerman used to contact the victims prior to their disappearances, these additional burner cell phones had frequent cell site activity in Midtown Manhattan and Massapequa Park. Specifically, the records revealed that both of these burner cell phones consistently had activity in the cellular towers that provided coverage to Huerman's residence in Massapequa Park and his business in New York City. This is where it gets crazy. Ready, guys? Wait till you hear all his internet searches. They were gross. Legal process served on Google seeking records or accounts associated with the device. Identifiers of these additional burner cell phones revealed a connection to yet another burner or junk email account named Thawk080672. Wonder if his birthday is August 6, 72, or maybe his kids. Google records further indicate that the Thawk email account subscribed a fictitious name Thomas Hawk. A search warrant revealed that the Thawk email account associated with burner cell phone 347-304-2671 was used to conduct thousands of searches related to sex workers, sadistic torture-related pornography, and child pornography, including Mistress Long Island, Mature Escorts Manhattan, Girl Begging for Rape Porn, Teen Girl Begging for Rape Porn. I probably shouldn't use that word. I'll just spell it out for the rest of the time. I probably shouldn't use that word. Pretty Girl with Bruised Face, PORN. Torture Redhead, PORN. 10-year-old schoolgirl. Hentai. Plump Pussy Lips Cut Off, PORN. Skinny Redhead Tied Up, PORN. Short Fat Girl Tied Up, PORN. Tied Up and RAPED, PORN. Asian Twink Tied Up, PORN. Tied Slave Force Fed, COCK. Cum Shot and Crying, PORN. Girl Hogtied Torture, PORN. 10-year-old blonde hair girl. Now that's weird. Does anyone think that one's... I wonder if he ever... Because he had that one... There was that one, like, toddler that was killed, right? I wonder if There could be like, maybe he is involved in that. Because there was a toddler's body found near where Shannan Gilbert was found. Chubby 10-year-old girl, black girl 10 years old, girl with face beat up, chubby 10-year-old girl crying, 13-year-old schoolgirl, age 12, child girl with blonde hair and blue eyes, blonde hair girl, young depressed, teen girl, oiled bodies, preteen girl with makeup, nude slave girls. I don't even want to read that next one. Y'all can read it yourself. That's disgusting. Okay. Oh, that's fine. That's fine, girl. You gotta go do what you gotta do. I know. You're busy. Go hang with your dad. Schoolgirl, crying teen PORN, crying girl, painful. Ugh, this is gross. I don't know. I would have to look into that individual case, like who. I don't know what the toddler's name was or anything like that. I just know there was a toddler found, so I'd have to look into that specifically, like what the kid's name was and where they went missing and stuff like that. When they were out talking, he has surfed to like true crime. So the Thok email account was also used to conduct in excess of 200 searches between March 2022 and June 2023 related to active and known serial killers. The specific disappearances and murder of Maureen Brainard Barnes, Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello, and the investigation into their murders. These searches or articles assessed include but are not limited to. It was unidentified? Okay. Yeah, I thought it was unidentified too, but I wasn't. Why could law enforcement not trace the calls made by the Long Island serial killer? They could, kind of, dummy. Why hasn't the Long Island serial killer been caught? 3. Long Island killer. 4. Long Island serial killer phone call. 5. Long Island serial killer update. Long Island serial killer update 2022. FBI active serial killers. Serial killers by state 2023. Map of all known serial killers. Unsolved serial killer cases. America's 5 most notorious old cases. I think you meant to put cold cases, but 11 currently active serial killers. 8 terrifying active serial killers we can't find. John Bitroff, Megan Waterman, Melissa Bartholomew, Maureen Brainard Barnes. Redacted name of relative of Melissa Bartholomew. Redacted name of relative of Megan Waterman. So maybe this is why they can't connect him to the other murders, because he only seemed to search. Who is John Bitroff? Hold on a second. John Bitroff is a serial killer. He was charged with the murders of Rita Tangretti and Colleen McNamee. He's also suspected in the murder of a third woman, Sandra Castillo. At around in 2013. Oh no, in the early 90s. Oh, he was a Long Island serial killer suspect. So they thought maybe he did it. Interesting. Hey, True Crime Chucky. I saw you last night. It was you who I saw last night, right? And Morbids, I think it was you. It was early in the morning, so I was a little tired. So this might be why they haven't been able to connect him to any more victims, because he only seemed to search these victims or look into these victims. Maybe they're like, if he had done the other victims, he would have searched them, or he would have looked up things about them, but he only seemed to focus on these 4 women. So I guess that's why they can only prove these 4 women. Cops launched Gilgo Beach Homicide Investigation Task Force, mapping the Long Island murder victims. So it sounds like as soon as he found out they launched the task force, he started Googling about, like, freaking out a little bit, and Googling all this stuff. Long Island serial killer investigation. New phone technology may be a key breaking case. That was another one he looked up. It was wild. It was wild last night. I was up to like 5 a.m. watching that stuff. Oh my Lord. I woke up so late today because I was up late watching it. The Thawk email account was also used to search for a number of podcasts and or documentaries regarding this investigation, as well as repeatedly viewing hundreds of images depicting the murder victims and members of their immediate families. Significantly, Defendant Huerman also searched for and viewed articles concerning the very task force that was investigating it. So these are all the articles he was looking at. A search warrant conducted on the fictitious Springfield man AOL account further revealed selfie photographs that appeared to have been taken by defendant Rex Huerman of himself and sent to other persons to solicit and arrange for sexual activity, further linking Huerman to the fictitious email account and burner cell phone. What an idiot. He took selfies of himself under Springfield Man 9, so they were able to connect it with him. What a dummy. Yeah, true. Maybe he had other burner cell phones that he looked stuff up on that they haven't seen yet. I think he got comfortable. Yeah, the shit show. It was a shit show. Defendant Rex Huerman was further linked to the burner cell phone 347-304-2671 because on May 19th, Defendant Huerman was observed by law enforcement via video and field surveillance at a cell phone store in Midtown Manhattan and purchased additional minutes which were added to his burner cell phone. Wow. Analysis of the Springfield Man 9 AOL account also led to the discovery of another email account, Hunter1903A3 at gmail.com. I gotta write all these down. Hunter1903A3 Gmail. Used on February 14th, 2021 to send an image of a prostitute from upstate New York between 2 of Huerman's secret email accounts. Further investigation revealed that Hunter 190383 Google account was created on February 14th, 2021 using burner cell phone 347-885-1697. As the user's phone number and SMS recovery number subscribed in the fictitious name Andy Roberts. The same fake name linked to the target Tinder profile on burner phone 347-885-1697, as well as the same alias utilized by defendant Huerman in communications with numerous potential sex partners responding to his advertisements for sex. Oh, he put up advertisements? Wow. Yeah, I've heard he has one in like Nevada and South Carolina. And the fictitious birthday of August 6, 1972, which corresponds to a digital ending of a burner account, Thawk 080672. In addition, Google provided IP address information for the user's acceptance of terms of service, which revealed that the terms of service were accepted on February 4th, 2021 from IP address 24.184.75.31. Significantly, records obtained from Altus, doing business as Optimum, which is an internet service provider, indicating the IP address to the defendant Huerman's home address. Oh my God. What a dummy. So the IP address to his home address was 24.184.75.31. Moreover, based upon SCPD records for the official website and Gilgo News, Oh, not again.
Well, it did it again. Can y'all hear me? Oh, am I still on? Okay.
Sorry. I had a little internet faux pas over here. Again. For some reason, my internet works fine at night, but during the day, it's so freaking wonky, it drives me crazy. Alright. I didn't burn anyone's ears out, did I? I hope not. Where was I? Alright, good. Alright, so moreover, based upon SCPD records for the official website, GilbertNews.com, a website maintained by SCPD to disperse news pertaining to this investigation, defendants Huberman's home IP address was used on May 23, 2020 and July 3, 2020 to access the official news concerning this investigation. Records obtained from JetBlue also show that same IP address was utilized to book flights for defendant Huberman and his wife in 2018. When analyzing usage of all devices and accounts used by Huberman, there appears to be a clear pattern wherein Huberman used burner phones and burner junk email addresses to contact sex workers and sex partners to conduct extensive searches related to sex and prostitution, violent, sadistic, and child porn, seek online information about authorities investigating his crimes. These burner phones and email accounts with fictitious identities were used in an effort to conceal Huberman's true identity, conceal his criminal activity, unlawfully proposition sex workers, and attempt to monitor the investigation of his crimes. I think so too, Pointer Lover, but I'm surprised that they didn't. The only thing that makes me wonder, maybe they won't, is that he wasn't searching any other victims. Thank you, True Crime Chucky. Welcome. Just the fact that he didn't search any other victims is a little confusing to me. It's like he searched all these people, but he didn't search any other victims. So unless there's another burner phone we don't know about that searched the other victims, but it seemed like he got sloppy and was just like, whatever, Or maybe he only searched them victims because they were the ones that were like out in the news that were found, and he felt safe doing it because they were already out there. All right. DNA analysis of hairs recovered from the victims' bodies. The bodies were examined by a forensic scientist. Maureen Brainard Barnes had been left restrained by 3 leather belts, one of which was utilized to tie her feet, ankles, and legs together. During the examination of the belts, a female human hair was recovered from the buckle of one of the belts by Suffolk County Crime Lab, hereinafter female hair on Barnes. On or about December 18th, 2010, the Suffolk County Laboratory, this hair was able to determine that it corresponded to a Caucasian head hair fragment. Although this hair was not suitable for nuclear DNA profiling at the time, it was subsequently submitted for further DNA analysis below. Megan Waterman had been bound by clear or white duct tape. During the course of this examination of Miss Waterman's body, 2 female human hairs were recovered, one from outside the head area and the other from the tape of the head area. He put tape over her head? Both hairs were recovered in the vicinity of Miss Waterman's head. Hereinafter, 2 female hairs of Waterman. Examination by the Suffolk County Laboratory indicate that 2 female hairs of Waterman exhibit Caucasian European characteristics, but were unsuitable for further DNA testing at the time, and they were subsequently submitted for further DNA analysis. Amber Costello. An examination of Miss Amber Costello revealed she appeared to have been bound by 3 pieces of clear or white duct tape. So the same duct tape used on the other one. So they were able to connect similar. All right. So that's something to keep track of. White duct tape. But it seemed he went from belts to white duct tape and clear duct tape. So if he had other, it sounds like he was just using whatever he had around, So if he had other victims, he later on, he may have used something different. It doesn't seem like his MO was just duct tape, but it does seem like his MO was to restrain them, I guess. You called George Clooney? No way. Did you get to talk to him? All right. Forensic Laboratory number 1. As noted above, the female hair in Barnes, 2 female hairs in Waterman, a female hair in Costello, collectively, the female hairs recovered on the 3 victims were all sent to a laboratory. Forensic Laboratory number 1 applies DNA techniques and direct genome sequencing to solve forensic casework. On or about July 2022, Forensic Laboratory 1 was able to determine that each of the aforementioned hairs recovered on the 3 victims belonged to a female individual in mitochondrial haplogroup K1C2, and that female was not any of his victims. On or about July 21st, 2022, an undercover SCP detective recovered 11 bottles from a trash receptacle that had been left out for collection in front of the residence of Rex Heuermann. Suffolk County Crime Lab took swabs of said bottles, which were subsequently sent to a forensic laboratory for DNA profiling. Based on these new submissions, on or about February 24th, 2023, Forensic Laboratory 1 was able to conclude that one of the DNA profiles generated from the aforementioned bottles taken from defendant Heuermann's residence indicated a female individual belonging to mitochondrial haplogroup K1C2, which is the same group as the female hairs recovered from the 3 victims. The profile was then compared against a previously tested female hair sample recovered on the remains of Miss Megan Waterman, which indicated that the 2 belonged to the same individual or someone closely related. Based on the investigation and evidence recovered to date, that female is believed to be the wife of defendant Heuermann. Forensic Lab 2. On or about March 23rd, 2023, they requested Forensic Laboratory 2, a lab specializing in forensic mitochondrial DNA analysis, to conduct individual independent analysis. On or about June 12, 2023, they issued a report concluding that the DNA sample from the female recovered from the bodies outside the residence of defendant Heuermann, example, Heuermann's wife, and the female hair on Costello indicated that mitochondrial DNA profiles are the same at all compared positions common to and between samples, specifically at a rate that would, as per the EMPOP database, exclude 99.98% of the North American population from the female hair on Costello. They compared the profile associated with the DNA sample from Heuermann's wife to one of the female hairs recovered on the remains of Waterman, which has resulted in the conclusion that they are the same at all compared positions common to and between samples. So basically, it's the same. It's her. Based on the foregoing, while 99.98% of the North American population can be excluded from the female hair on Costello, 99.69% of North American population are excluded from the female hair on Waterman. It is significant that Rex Heuermann's wife cannot be excluded from either the female hairs recovered on the remains of Megan Waterman and Amber Costello. As previously noted, Heuermann's wife was out of state at the time, so they're saying, she's not involved. As such, it is likely that the burlap tape vehicles or other instruments utilized in furtherance of these murders came from defendant Heuermann's residence, where his wife also resides, or was transferred from his clothing. Yeah, I agree, Jen. There are a lot of unidentified sex workers. Who knows? He may have only been searching them because they're the ones that are in the media. Maybe he was scared to search the other ones and that somebody might find it, you know? So then they found the male hair at the bottom of the burlap sack used to wrap Mrs. Waterman, or Miss Waterman, by her killer. However, the hair was unsuitable for further DNA analysis. And then they submitted to a different lab, and they were able to generate a DNA profile for the hair recovered on the bottom of the burlap, specifically determined that this hair belonged to a male in mitochondrial haplogroup V7A. Following the discovery of the Chevy Avalanche, which was registered to Defendant Huerman in the investigation of cellular billing records and other items, the surveillance team observed and recovered a pizza box thrown by Rex Huerman into a garbage can located in front of 385 Fifth Avenue, Manhattan. So they got this pizza box. They sent it for lab testing. And they compared that to the male hair on Waterman. And they basically got the same result, that it excluded 99.96 of the rest of the population. So it was very much probably him. And that his hair cannot be excluded from the hair at the bottom of the burlap. All right, so his arrest. On or about the evening of July 13th, 2023, defendant Rex Huerman was arrested by Suffolk County police officers. Searches of his residence as well as other locations are currently ongoing. At the time of his arrest, Huerman had on his person the burner cell phone 347-304-2671. It was on him, so they obviously can tie that to him, which was linked to the Thok email account used to conduct the online searches above. Penalties: if convicted on current charges, Rex faces multiple sentences of life without parole based on serious heinous nature of the crime, the strength of the people's case. So this is a bail application, I think, for them to, so that they're requesting that he's without bail. But it's pretty much an affidavit. And I just want to show you guys, hold on a minute. I'm going to show you guys his brother's business card real quick because it'll give you a good laugh. His brother is crazy. They said his brother, who lives in South Carolina, that he planned on moving in with, his brother is like a nut job. And he handed out all those business cards. They're business cards. It just says Craig Huerman, bad mother effer. Look, ready? I love pizza crust. I can eat. My son and hubby hate pizza crust, so I go and eat all their pizza crusts at the end. Look at this thing. This is what he handed to his neighbors. And then he hit his other neighbor over the head with a pipe because he mowed the lawn on a day that he didn't want him to mow the lawn on. Isn't that hilarious? This is his backyard. And if you see his house, it's very like not a house where an architect would live. It's very like plain house. He had a storage place they looked into. It's his Google searches. But yeah. Can you imagine handing that, like, being this guy's? I don't know what I'd do if my neighbor came up to me and handed me that. Like, what would you do if your neighbor came up and just handed you a business card that said Craig Huerman, bad mother effer? Okay. Also, what I wanted to show you guys, but I don't have time to go over it today, but maybe we can go over it next live. I found on Hidden True Crime, there's an interview with Lauren Matthias. New details from Nikki Brass. Nikki Brass says she went on a date with Rex Huerman that she will never forget. And she talks about it, and she says she knew that he was the guy. So it's 35 minutes. and I really want to go over it, but I've been live for an hour and a half already, so I haven't gotten to see it yet. But if anyone wants to watch it, I'd love to do true crime, by the way. Here's the link. But maybe next time, we'll go over a little bit of that. You saw it? It was good? And for next time, I'm going to look into all the other victims they found out of the 10 and see if we can find any connections. Like tape and burlap sacks, anything that's connective in any way. Not the one who gave out the business card. That's the serial killer's brother. So the one who gave out the bad mother effer business card, that's his brother who lives in South Carolina, who's crazy. Like, but yeah, Rex was, I guess you could say that for Rex too. Both of them humble psychopath serial killers. I don't know. But anyway, I wouldn't say humble, but he tried to come off that way. Fake humble. But anyways, I'm going to end it now. I'll maybe either try today or tomorrow for part 3. I'm going to get all the names of those other bodies and see if I can find a connection. Go through, see if I can find any case files on any of them, which I doubt that we can because it's not an open case. But if we can find any case files on like Megan Waterman, stuff like that, and get more details of the crimes and see if we can find a connection. I just want to see if there's some connection besides like private sex workers, But anyways, have a good day, y'all. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the memberships. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you. And I'll talk to y'all soon.